right? If you have problems getting over your everything being perfect and you haven't launched your coaching business, then this is the training for you today, because I'm going to share with you how I overcame my perfectionism to actually move forward and build a successful coaching business. So like I said, today, guys, we're going to be talking about overcoming perfectionism and to launch a coaching business. If this is your first time seeing my face in your feed, I'm 𝐒𝐡𝐨𝐩 Marketing, your marketing coach, and I help coaches just like you market your coaching business the simplest way possible. Okay. So thank you guys for letting me know about my mic. We're going to get right into today's content. So for many high achievers like ourselves, perfectionism is worn like a badge of honor. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Sometimes we like, oh, I just like it for it to be perfect. This is the way I like for it to be done. And we wear it like it's a badge of honor. And literally what is actually happening, it is setting us up for failure, because we are looking for everything to be all like perfect in a row. We cannot move forward and take action on what will get us the results that we are looking for. So if you are a perfectionist, here's what I want you to look at, right? I'm going to give y'all a bigger screen here. Oh, I can stay right here, okay? Is this you? Are you struggling to make decisions or take action? If any of these are you, put a 1 in the comment, right? You worry excessively if things are going to be right. Are you one of those people who say, oh, I got to make sure it is right, okay? If that's you, put a 1 in the comment. If you are avoiding challenges to avoid failure, put a 1 in the comments. Okay. So you avoid doing things that might be a little hard because you think you're going to fail. If that's you, put a 1 in the comments. If you are thinking about your weakness or your mistakes or your failures that you've made in the past, like, look, we've all made some failures, right? We've all made some mistakes. We've had some weakness. If that's you, then put a 1 in the comments. If you put a 1 for any of these statements that I've said today, then you are a perfectionist. And so we need to talk about how to overcome that. And look, it's okay if you are. I'm that person. I'm a recovering one. Sometimes I slip into it as well, but I have to know if I've got to move forward. And today I'm going to share with you how I've been able to do that for myself. Okay. So today I'm going to share with you how I overcame perfectionism and launched my successful coaching business. I'm also going to offer tips for overcoming perfectionism so that you can finally achieve your goals. All right. So are we okay with that? Are y'all ready to just let go of all that? Are we ready to be a person who is an action taker no matter what? If that's you, put a 1 in the comments. And here's the thing, guys. Put a 1 in the comments if you're ready. Here's the thing. That my audio messing up like that today would have put me in a tailspin today, okay? Because that's the perfectionism of me, right? Me spending time putting makeup on, me sitting down making sure my lighting right, and then all of a sudden my audio is not right, would have put me in such a tailspin that I could barely do this presentation. But I've learned that it's better to get it done than to worry about it being perfect. Okay. So that's what I'm going to share with you in some of those things. So I'm glad you guys are ready to take action on that. And so, like you said, you are ready to get right into it. So get your paper, get your pen, get your paper. Did I just say paper? Get your pen and paper so you can take some notes. All right. Okay. So here's the one thing I had to learn. I made mistakes. I make mistakes. You try things and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's just the name of the game. If you're not making mistakes, then you are not taking action. This was a mistake today. My audio was a mistake and I'm going to try to fix it again, right? I don't know what is going on. It was working perfect before, then it just stopped working again. But anywho, it's mistakes. At least I am trying, and I want you to do that too. The more you make mistakes, that means the more that you are moving forward. The more you make mistakes, you know not to do that. You know, oh, I know, if it happens, oh, this is how you fix it. But if you never take action on it, you never know how to fix something. Okay. So Sharon says, yes, love that. Get it done. Okay. So look at here. I want to share this clip, right? This is me, my first video in 2011. You can go look at it on YouTube right now. And this is me actually trying to do videos. But here's what I was trying to do. I was trying to memorize a script. Literally, I had written down what I was supposed to say, and then I would jump in front of the camera and try to remember everything on that paper. Now, I don't know why I tried that, because I have a learning disability and I can't do that. I can't hold a certain amount of content in my brain before I totally forget about it. It just doesn't happen with the type of learning disability I have, right? So I try to memorize it. That was a mistake. I started doing what I saw others doing, right? I thought, if I could just copy what I saw them doing it, then maybe I can be good, because theirs look good. Why can't I do it? Mistake. Also, by copying other people, I didn't really have the confidence, right? When you're trying to do something exactly like somebody else, it's not yours. So of course you're not going to come across being confident. So I definitely wasn't confident. And as you can see here, I might look like I'm confident with my hands on my hips, thinking I'm that I'm that girl. But honestly, that was just that was a mechanism for myself to say, okay, girl, get it together. Like I was trying to hold myself together. And then I had not figured out my voice, because I was copying what other people were doing. I was trying to memorize it and I just wasn't confident. So I didn't even know what my true voice was. And so I just sounded like everyone else, or I sounded like I was trying to copy everyone else. And that was in 2011. 2011. Those were the mistakes I made, but I did it. I'm trying, right? So in 2021, this is the after. In 2021, I realized that, okay, you can't memorize notes. So you can't memorize a script. So I started using notes on the screen like I am doing now, right? We were taught, and it was said like, oh, sometimes people don't want to do slides and all this kind of stuff. Well, you know what? If you don't like my slides, you don't like me showing up like this, then I'm not for you. I need this to jog my memory of what I need to talk about so that I don't miss important points, right? I didn't got time to be trying to memorize stuff. I've made mistakes on that before. I started to go live more often, and I started to speak more conversational instead of preachy. And what I mean, the difference with that is sometimes preaching means don't do this. You should be doing this. Da 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 da. Right. That to me is preaching. Okay. Instead, I'd have said, you know what? Throw in what worked for you. Talk about your life, your stories, and be more conversational with your content. Don't feel like you have to be this robot going through content, okay? And I only talked about what I knew and I had experience with, okay? Sometimes when you're trying to be somebody else, you're trying to incorporate their stories as your stories. You try to incorporate their examples as your examples instead of just using what you have. Right? I could have showed you before and afters of other people, but why would I do that when I have before and afters of my own? Okay. And by doing this and able to speak in my own voice, be able to find ways to help me be able to deliver the content in a more confident way, I became more confident with it. Okay. So that's my before and after. Look, y'all, let's go back to this real quick. I want y'all to see. Y'all see how dark the image is? You see that? I mean, y'all, all this stuff in the background, you barely can see me. All this kind of stuff. I mean, I made some mistakes. But then you make enough mistakes, you get to this level. You just get to it. You learn how to roll with the punches, right? Just like my audio was acting funky, I realized that had happened before. You roll with the punches, okay? All right, so let's go on, okay? How many of you have done something like you have some before and afters? How many of you have some before and afters? Like, this is me before and this is me now. Let me know. Say before and after. Put before in the comments. Put before in the comments if you have some before and afters. Because we all have a before and after. Maybe you don't necessarily have pictures to capture it, but you've had some before and afters. I think talking about the befores lets people know that you are where they are right now. You've been where they are, right? And they have seen you overcome it, right? Sharon says she has before and afters, right? Arnetta says she has a before and afters, right? Sharon says she has plenty of befores. That is great because people want to see the befores. And then they want to see the after, which is currently what you're going through now. We all have them, even if they're little small ones. Okay. So that makes me feel good. I'm not the only one with some befores and afters. Okay. So let's go on to the next thing. The next thing that helped me overcome being a perfectionist is I started before I was ready. Now, this is a big one. Putting off things we want because we're waiting for it to be perfect. And this reminded me of when I started going, when you go to school and your mom buys you these new clothes or buys you a new outfit and you want to save it. You don't want to wear those clothes that first day. You want to save it for a special occasion. If you in a special occasion never happened in school, in middle school, what kind of special occasion was I going to wear a new pair of jeans to? There was never a special occasion. So I took that into adulthood, waiting and saving things and waiting for it to be a perfect occasion, a perfect time. Well, before I lost weight or when I got the right camera, all of these type of things, I would wait. And I remembered that I would do that same exact thing in middle school and then realize there was never a perfect occasion. So you know what? I just do it. I just do it even before I'm ready. And I'm going to share with you a do it or me starting it before I'm ready. Okay. Arnetta says the before could be so embarrassing. It can be embarrassing, but it's such a learning experience for you and your clients. They want to know what the before is. And that by showing the before, allows them to trust you to say, okay, this girl knows what she's talking about. She's been through the mud. She's been through it, the struggles, and she came out of it. I want to come out of it too, and I want to learn from her how to come out of that struggle. Okay. So it can be embarrassing, but it is definitely a testimony that people want to hear, a form of transformation. All right. So let me share an example with you guys of me starting before I had it ready or all together. And this is when it comes to me creating my first program, my first coaching program. My first coaching I can't get my words out. My first coaching program was called I Work Like a Boss. And it was basically a program helping entrepreneurs take their business online. Very similar to what I'm doing with you guys, but my focus is just coaching, right? And so when I first started, I did not have the monies to actually buy all the fancy equipment. How they have the DSLR cameras and all those fancy lighting. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have the fancy recording. I wasn't using Webinar Jam, none of that, because that was so expensive. It was so outside of my budget. And I knew, though, that I couldn't wait for everything to be perfect because I would just be leaving money on the table, or I wouldn't be able to make enough mistakes to know by the time I got to the point that I am right now, then I could have been making money. Y'all get it. So when I first started, I used free conference call, freeconferencecall.com. I did audio recordings, right? I use y'all remember Google Plus? I used Google Plus to actually create like a video conference room because Zoom was not available at that time. StreamYard definitely was not available at that time. So I had to use Google Plus. I don't even think Facebook was allowing you to do live streaming at that time. So I had to use Google Plus. I used MailChimp, the free version, because my money was short. Okay. I used Dropbox to deliver the course. So I didn't even have a course platform like Thinkific. I didn't even know about those at all. All I knew that I can upload a video into Dropbox and I could share a link. And I didn't even have a fancy website. So right now, if y'all go to my website, I use a WordPress and I use a plugin. I ain't had that. I use a site called Weebly.com to set up my free website, right? Which I actually had like my about section. I had information about the course there. I actually used PayPal to get people to pay for it. I mean, y'all, I was like DIYing it or bootstrapping it, whatever, when I first started. Because I knew, again, if I didn't start now, when would I start? I had to work with what I have and knowing that I still got sales. Because I didn't have everything together, did not stop people from buying from me. So look, you have to start before you're ready. Even if you're not a techie person, start with what you know how to do. If you know how to create a PayPal button or you know how to send out a link for people to pay for you, buy something from you, that's all you need. You can work on the other stuff. You can figure it out on the back end. If you don't have a fancy website, you don't have the monies to help people build this website for you, use free sites. Don't allow someone to shame you because you don't have all the pieces together. Do not, because everyone has to start from the beginning. Everyone doesn't start with everything, right? Unless, they come into some inheritances or they just have a lot of money to spend. And I can tell you this though, just because you have all the money to buy everything, all the equipment, all the software, all this kind of stuff, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to get you a client. Me having a fancy camera or fancy, ring lights, all this kind of stuff does not guarantee that I would get a client. What would guarantee that I will get a client is that I show up. I am authentically, right, showing up. I am providing value. That is what's going to help me get clients, not all the special woo-wah, right? I know right now that there is a coach that's making way over $10,000 a month, and his site is jacked up. I would say it's jacked up now, right? I can talk junk about it now. But he's using an old, simple website that he hasn't added fancy branding images. I don't even think there's an image of him on this sales page at all. So when someone tells you that you need to have all of these things before you can start your coaching business or that you can get clients, that is so untrue, because I definitely did not have all of those things. I still don't have a lot of those things, right? I am still bootstrapping it on certain things, but I am still making money in my business. So I don't want you to get that everything has to be I got to have all my ducks in a row. I got to have this and I got to have this before I get started, because that is so untrue. All right. All right. So start with what you have is the key lesson here. And that was a key thing that I learned so that I can get over my perfectionism. All right. So is this making sense to you guys? Do you feel like so far that you're getting value from me? Let me know. Put a 1 in the comments if you feel like this is making sense, that you can too overcome your perfectionism. Put a 1 in the comments. Let me know. Awesome. Yes. Yes. I love it. Love it. We're going to be people overcoming perfectionism all the time. We're going to be saying, hey, I'm celebrating my 5th anniversary of being free of perfectionism, right? All right. Thank you, Pam. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. So the next thing is done is better than perfect. Y'all, I'm going to give y'all a full screen on that. Done is better than perfect. Perfect or perfectionism or parallelism. I can't even say that. Paralysis will equal overwhelm. So if you are one of these people who are stuck in everything and being perfect, it equals overwhelm, because you're trying again get all your ducks in a row. And so, like I said, I'm going to give y'all examples. I'm sharing with you how I know done is better than perfect. Just get it done. Get it halfway. Get it passable is the key thing. Because okay, let me give y'all a face him. Nobody knows what it's supposed to look like or what was supposed to be in it. No one really knows what was supposed to happen, right? So sometimes when I was teaching, I might forget a little part of my notes. Like, oh, I forgot to give them that example. Well, the only person who knew that I forgot to give them that example would be me. My students would not know it. And then I would just pick up and say, hey, guys, the next class period, I'm going to share with you an example that I missed. No biggie. So sometimes we're just so hard on ourselves that nobody knows but yourself. And it's like a waste of energy. And then we go into this whole overwhelm, like, oh, I can't do this. Like, let me just say this. If you've ever been working on something and you get to a point that you're so tired and so overwhelmed, you got to go lay down. And that you don't come back to it for maybe the next 2 or 3 days. That means that perfectionism, you are trying to make it perfect instead of making it passable. Right? So remember that when you got to take a break and lay on the couch because you feel so overwhelmed and you don't come back to that project for 2 to 3 days, sometimes it could be 2 to 3 months, then you were trying to make it perfect instead of make it passable. Okay, I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute because we've all experienced that. Would you say, give me some love if that's you? Give me some, let me know if that's you. Say yes. Give me an emoji. Put in the comments if that's you. You felt overwhelmed by working on a particular project that you don't come back to it for days. You don't come back to this project for days, sometimes months. Sometimes you don't even complete it. And that's because you were letting perfection get in the way. So give me some, yes, yes. Arnetta felt me on that. Okay. All right. Sharon says, that is so true. I can be amazing at avoidance. Yes. Pam says, truly, I can relate. Okay, so again, I'm not the only one. So I'm going to share an example with you how I said that I'm just going to let it be passable. Okay, let me share that with you real quick. So here's an example of being just allowing it to be passable. Okay, there is a saying that you have to have brand images. Okay, and I know that you have to have some type of images that showcase you doing work or just showcasing you as if you're the brand. I'm the brand for my business, right? And I knew that I wanted new brand pictures like yesterday. And I hadn't picked a photographer yet. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I felt like I needed to lose some weight, et cetera, et cetera. So you know what I said? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be passable for these photos for my new like YouTube thumbnails. So this is what I did. As you can see, I have a bed sheet. So I hung a bed sheet up on my wall, just a plain white bed sheet. I just thumbtacked it to the wall, right? I set my phone up on a tripod that I have, the same tripod that I'm using for my webcam, and I put my ring light in front of me. And I set my camera on a timer. All right, let me give y'all a full view of that, okay? That's how I started. So a bed sheet, my phone on a tripod, and a ring light. Okay. And I just took some poses of myself, put my phone on a timer. I don't even have a fancy phone. I think my phone is like 3 years old. Okay. Then I took these pictures and I put them in Canva and I removed the background. Right. So I use Canva that I pay for every month just to make my brand images look a little better. So I took the pictures of myself. I brought that photo into Canva and removed the background. Okay, so y'all following me so far, right? After that, I took that photo and I added it to a Canva graphic to create an ad. Just quick little like flyer, right? This is not a real one, but I wanted to give you an example. I used a Canva template. I did not hire a graphic designer. I worked with what was passable because I needed to get this out. If I waited to get this out, it could, or hired a graphic designer or hired a brand photographer, it would have took me another month to get this out. Okay. So Sharon just gave me the thumbs up. She says this looks great. Well, thank you so much, right? And literally, guys, it was just a ring light, a tripod, and a bed sheet. That's it. And I really, if you really look closely, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more, right? If y'all look closely, I've got on like jogging pants. Because I wasn't really thinking that, hey, I was gonna use the picture. I was only gonna use the picture for the waist up. So this was just me like, hey, you got makeup on. It was right after I had did a live. You got makeup on, pin that sheet up, girl, and just take these photos, right? And so I didn't even think about what I was wearing on the bottom at all, right? Maybe going forward, I might do that. But this was me saying, you can't wait for this to be perfect. You just can't. Thank you, Arnetta. Thank you so much. Basic makeup. I mean, yes, I've had some makeup skills back in the day, but I know I can do a little tweaking in Canva to make it look a little better. So that is just letting you know that I know done is better than perfect. All I need for it to be is passable. So now that you guys see my process, you now can know that half of the photos that y'all see on my thumbnails, on my YouTube videos, half the photos that y'all see on little flyers that I made are actually photos that I have taken to my house with a bed sheet behind it, right? And I'll just remove the background. I can show y'all several examples of that. But that is just me just doing what I can with what I have so that I don't allow my perfectionism to get in the way, right? Thank you, Pam, for that, right? So look, those are the three things that I wanted to share. And I don't think I have anything else, right? But here's the good news. Here's the good news about everything that we do is that you're not alone with being a perfectionist. I am just a recovering one every once in a while, right? Perfectionism does sneak in with me, right? But you will see progress. You will see yourself taking action on things that you would have never taken action on, or that would have just overwhelmed you so much that you would have let go of it, right? You will see progress and you'll get clients and they will be happy to work with you because you're getting them the results. They're not going to say, oh my gosh, your brand photos were absolutely beautiful. Let me work with you. They're not working with you because you got beautiful photos. They're not working with you because you're using a particular software. They're not working with you because you got, a ring light or you got this fancy camera. They're not working with you for that. They're working for you for transformation. They're working for you because they see that you can help them get results. Okay. So I just hope that that sort of sinks in with you, like that you know that you are good enough. I think sometimes perfectionism sinks in because we feel like we're not good enough. Who we are, the way we are, is not good enough to get a client. And that's not the case. If someone doesn't want to work with you because you don't have the fancy equipment or that you don't look a certain way, then that definitely is not a client for you, right? I know it's not a client for me. I don't want to work with someone like that who's that like shallow, right? I know I can help you get the results. I know I can help you move from not having no clients to getting clients. I know these things, right? But because I don't look a certain way or I'm not using a certain tech that you're not working with me, then I don't need you as a client, right? I can move on from that. Okay. So and I want you to know that you are good enough to move forward. Right. So if I have not said this to you guys, this month we're going to be talking about the whole theme of this month is about confidence, consistency, and crushing it with all three of those C's. And so this month is all about that. How to get over your perfectionism, how to set goals, how to take action, all of these things so that you are continually can crush it in your business. So next week, here's what we're going to be talking about. Oh, I got more. I'm sorry. I'm just jumped right ahead of myself. Here's how you take, face perfectionism heads on. If you fall into the category of feel like you are overwhelmed and something is stopping you from moving forward, I want you to write down 3 ways that you can move forward and put dates by each way that you can move forward. So you have an action date. So if you know about moving forward means practice going live, right? And then you're going to say practice going live is going to help me move forward. You're going to put a date beside that, right? That I'm going to practice going live on September the 2nd, and I'm going to do it 5 times until I feel comfortable, right? So write down 3 things that will help you move forward, all right? Okay, I apologize for jumping ahead of myself. I was just so excited. But here it is. Next week, we're going to be talking about setting goals that stick. Setting goals that stick, because sometimes we set goals that are just a tad bit too big. And I know, right? Most people don't say that. Most people say set big goals, set audacious goals. I get it. I want you to set big goals, but I also want you to set goals that are attainable to help you reach your goal. Sometimes we can set goals so big that when we try to move forward or take action to achieve those goals, that we get We get down on ourselves because we didn't reach that goal. And sometimes we didn't reach the goal because the goal is just too big for where you are right now, right? It's just too big for your britches, right? Just like you might be trying to get in a size 6 pair of jeans, and your goal is to try to get in that size 6 by the end of the week, and you are 14. That's going to be a goal that's a goal that's going to be hard for you to attain. Even if you don't eat for 7 days, you ain't getting down to the size 6 pants. I'm just being real. So you see that's not a realistic goal. Now, if you're trying to get into a size 12 in the next maybe 2 weeks, that might be feasible for you. You see what I'm saying? The goals. So I don't want y'all to think that big goals, that I'm like, I don't like big goals. I want you to have big goals. I just want you to have goals, smaller goals that help you get to the big goal, right? So I want to share with you next week on how to set goals that you can stick with to help you get to the big audacious goals. All right. All right, guys. So thank you so much for showing up for me today. Thank you for giving me the comments, the love, the confirmation, everything. And just know that I'm always here to support you in your growth in your coaching business. I'm here to give you the strategies, the tips, the confidence, the hugs, the motivation, everything that you need to help you move forward in your coaching business, because I know that sometimes that this can get tough. I know that sometimes that we can get in our own way. I know that sometimes that we can have this shiny object syndrome and we just can't move forward, or that the perfectionism gets in the way. But I'm here to help you move forward so that you can build a successful coaching business, so that you can leave your 9 to 5 if that's your goal. If it's to generate 10K a month, whatever that is, I'm here to support you on this, right? So thank you, Arnetta. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So stay tuned. Not stay tuned, but make sure you hop on and join me next week, same place and same time. All right. I love you. You guys have an awesome and blessed day. Peace out.